What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the second episode of the Transform Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Nate.
It's Misa.
And Chino.
And we're so glad to see you guys here. We thank you for your guys' support. We think first episode came out pretty good. All glory to God, you know. We have a few things to get to before we get to our guest. For a couple of things, the first thing is the verse of the day, and then what's going on in the community. But real quick, I had a friend call me the other day about he's catching up, you know. We were talking about the podcast and how he was excited and how he's trying to look for Christian podcasts on Spotify. So I told him, yeah, man, this is cool. Like, you know, we really want to bring out, you know, the word and try to encourage people. So, you know, the word's getting around about the podcast, and we thank you guys for the support. You know, if you guys want to keep supporting, you know, subscribe, hit the like button, you know, share it with your friends, you know, get the word around. But we thank you guys for supporting. All right, let's get right into it. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right, let's start with the verse of the day. So the verse of the day is Proverbs 11:14, and it says like this: "Where there is no guidance, a people fails, but in abundance of counselors there is safety."
Yeah, so what I get out of it is pretty much like basically what it says, you know, if there's no guidance, then like no leaders, no people like telling you, you know, encouraging you and stuff, then there's a high chance you could fall, you know. But you know, like that's why God puts many leaders, many counselors, like pastor, for example, you know, to help us like stay aligned and all that.
Are you a leader?
You know what I mean?
That we're having out today.
Exactly, that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know, if it wasn't for our leaders, I don't know, we wouldn't have anyone to guide us, to, you know, to let us know what we're doing wrong,
Exactly.
or to let us know and lead us in the right direction. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a good interpretation of that scripture. So we had a couple of things happen, this week. Misa, you want to give them?
On Wednesday, I believe it was Wednesday. We had a baptism, and if I'm not mistaken, it was from my dad's cell group. So, you know, glory to God. But
Yeah, amen.
Another soul.
added to the book.
Yeah, Kingdom of God's growing.
But I think that's pretty much that happened this week. Yeah.
That's
about it.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys ready for the special guest?
You guys ready?
You guys ready?
Ready.
It's a big name right here. That's a big name. Can't believe we have him on here, to be honest.
The schedule,
Very
the
excited.
schedule was full. I don't know.
I don't know, guys.
Very exciting.
All right. Well, for our first guest of the Transfer Podcast, let's bring in our local youth president, Brother Mark.
Clap it up.
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, Mark?
What's up,
How
Nate?
you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. Yeah.
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing quite fine.
I'm doing great. You know me.
Good day today.
Yeah.
Good day. Good Friday.
So today we're going to be talking about leadership in the church. We started off, you know, with the scripture. So now we have Brother Mark as youth leader talk about a couple of things. We want to get to, for those of you that don't really know him, we want to, you know, let him have the chance to, you know, talk about himself. You know, share his testimony, what he's been through, and then at the end, if we have enough time, we'll ask a couple of questions that you guys asked them. By the way, we thank you for asking the questions.
Yeah, for the people that asked some questions.
Yeah.
Very thankful.
Be sure to follow the Instagram for more opportunities to ask questions for future episodes. Next episode, it's gonna be a good one too. So
Every episode here is gonna be good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's gonna be good. So, you know, make sure to follow the Transform Podcast on Instagram and be sure to subscribe. All right, Brother Mike, you ready to share your testimony?
Yeah, I'm pretty much ready right now. So I don't know if you want me to get started with it already.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I'm gonna just kind of give, not like a
little summary.
I'm just try to give as much as I can. Kind of like the important details because there's just a couple things that happened that I think in the preview of last week's episode, where Chino was talking about it, I kind of felt something that has happened to me, something similar. So basically, at the age of like 8 years old, my mom started, going to an apostolic church, and before she was, Catholic, she was going, but like every Sunday, she wasn't really into it. But there was a sister in Wasco, and that's where born and raised in Wasco. There was a sister there, and she started kind of talking to my mom, and my mom's always had like relatives that are apostolic, and they've always tried to reach out to my mom, but never really got through her. Until this, specific sister started kind of talking to her, and she invited her. She started going, and then my mom got baptized, and then she was bringing me along before she even started bringing in my dad, my brother, or anybody else. She started bringing me. So I was like around 8 years old, and I was sort of.
Let me get the pillow. It's because my back is killing me.
You used to get a little comfy.
You guys could cut it.
Nah, keep going. It's cool.
Oh, okay.
So, I lost my train of thought.
We were talking about the sister that was.
Oh yeah, she was evangelizing my mom. Mom started going. I started coming with mom, and I was like 8 years old, and I've always been in church. Like as far as I remembered, sleeping in the bancas. I don't know if you guys ever.
I fell asleep at the altar before. It's pretty funny, but I was forced up there as a little kid, so I fell asleep and they left me there for a cool minute. They left me there for a cool minute, bro.
Slave of the spirit.
Yeah. Motherfucker.
So like I was in the altar. I was in the banca. They had like the wooden ones, and I would like lean over.
You didn't see no spiders in there?
Yeah, there was a lot of spiders.
The gums.
The gums.
Yeah, don't chew gum at church, guys.
Yeah. And I'll be going to sleep, and then I was that kid, the silver tooth kid, where I would go under the bancas.
Madness.
And I'll grab somebody's leg. I'll grab their leg, and it's like they're gonna get pulled from under. But I would go, I would just go around. I don't know, just crawling around. But since I was young, I was growing up in church. So I got Bible studies, and I've been to a lot of cell groups, a lot of Sunday school, and I had the knowledge, right? So I knew about the Lord. I knew about all of that. And then in 2012, I think that was the first time I went to youth camp. And youth camp has always been a really big part of my life, growing up, because I wasn't baptized, and I would go to the youth camp, and I would experience a great move of God. You could move it, you could feel it anywhere. But these youth camps, because you're away from everybody, you're away from your friends in high school, you're away from everybody else, no distractions, and you would just go there and experience something great. But the funny thing is, I would go and I would experience these things, and then I'll go back home, and little by little, you'll be at the peak, and then as time goes on, you go down low, and you fall back to your old habits.
It's like a spiritual high.
Yeah. So you hit the peak, you hit the high, and then
Yeah.
But I would experience that 2012, 13, 14. So I think I remember in the clip that you were talking about, the Lord was kind of talking to you, pulling you.
Yeah.
And you're they'll make altar calls, right, for people who want to get baptized and all that. Okay, so that's where I wanted kind of to touch on too, because I went 2012 youth camp, 13 youth camp. In 2014, I went to youth camp, and I was in the altar. This was, I think, Saturday night. I was at the altar, and the same thing. They made that call. I wasn't baptized, and they're like, okay, who wants to get baptized? And, I saw a group of people go, right? So I was like, oh, that's cool, I kind of wanted to get baptized, but, I just didn't want to go up there. And then they made a second call, and they're like, okay, this was 5 minutes later. They're like, we're going to make another call. For those who feel that it's getting tugged, that God's tugging you, this is your second call, right? And then I was like, okay, they usually do make a couple calls. They don't really make third calls a lot. So I was like, I told God, God, if you really want me to make that decision, because I was telling the Lord, I want to serve you with the full heart. I don't want to do it halfway, you know, and I know I'm gonna make mistakes and all that, but I just really want you to call me, right? Not just the preacher. I want you to call me. So here's the thing. I told God, make another call, you know, and it's funny because there's only two of them, and they're like, and there was a big gap. After I said that, and after I made the second call, I mean, make another call. Like 15 minutes later, and it's like, it's a big gap. And they made the call, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, pass up, those who want to get baptized. And I'm like, dang. I said it, I got to follow through.
You're like, Lord, what did I get myself into?
Yeah, like I got to do it. So I stepped forward, and they prayed for me, and I was like, okay, I want to make the decision to get baptized. And then during that time, my brother was actually praying for me. My brother's a minister, Mauricio Martinez.
Shout out.
Shout out to Mauricio.
Big boss man.
I don't know his Instagram, but you guys follow him. You guys,
Shout out.
Put the plug out there. But he was praying for me the whole time, and this was in 2014. So after that, I signed my name. They're gonna send it to my pastor that I decided to get baptized. So I went home.
Real quick, do they still do that?
I don't think so. I was just about to say that.
I don't think
Like,
they
you
do.
had to sign in on it, like that you
It's
are.
it's like a pledge that you're gonna get baptized.
Yeah,
right?
no, yeah.
The
That's
last
what it
I don't
time,
think
the
they-
last time I remember doing that was the junior camp, bro.
Dang.
And that was a while back ago, but
Yeah.
that's the only time I remember.
I think like it's just like they just tell you like go back and then tell your pastor,
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
like, yeah.
Okay,
But-
sorry.
So they did that. This was, I guess, way back in the day. Make me feel old.
We're the same age.
So we're both old. So I signed it, and they already talked to my pastor. But here's the thing: after that, I still went back home, and I fell back into the same habits, and I didn't get baptized.
Mm.
I just said I was, made a decision, got home, and I didn't do it. So after that, I was like, I felt really, really like ashamed. You could say ashamed, or really bad, and I just didn't want to like make that decision because I felt like I already felt God without even fully committing, without even getting baptized, and I still felt God because I already knew, I knew the ways of the Lord. I knew like the things that I should be doing, should not be doing. So the next year, the same thing happened, same scenario, same thing. Made the first call, made the second call, and I'm like, God, if you really want me to get baptized, make the third call. He made the third call, but at the same time, my brother was praying right behind me the entire time. And I remember he was explaining to me afterwards, just like, I knew the way that you were going to feel because you made that same decision last year and you didn't do it. And here you are, I'm praying for you, and you made that decision as well, even though you failed last year. So that's kind of like where I wanted to touch up, because sometimes like we feel like, okay, we failed God once, and we didn't even want to try again because
So if you think of your failure.
yeah, because like you put that in your head, and the enemy does, but like we put that in our heads, and we're telling ourselves that we're failures. We're telling ourselves that we're not enough, and God's not going to accept us. So I made that decision again, and this time I actually did go back home, and I got baptized on August 23rd, 2015. So I've been baptized for about about to be seven years. Yeah, and then after that, I just been, going to the law school. Been there for a few years, and then transferred over. Got my transcripts, and I came over to New Life, and now it's Transformation Church. And it's been a lot of years, a lot of up and downs, but at the end of it, God's still good. It's something that I never expected to be here.
Yeah.
At a podcast.
At a podcast, Transformation Church podcast, transforming one youth at a time. This is something that I see that's going to be a great way to reach out to everybody. The young people, but also the older people, the younger generation. Everybody is going to get a piece of the pie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And it's something that is awesome. Your guys' work is going to be, you're gonna see your work. You're gonna sow, you're gonna sow and sow and sow, and then later on, you guys are gonna see the reap of what is gonna come. After doing the podcast, a lot of people are gonna listen to it. and it's just another way to reach out to the people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I know many of us have had our trials and tribulations. Have you gone through any?
so it's been a lot of ups and downs. It's been a lot of ups and downs.
One that you can remember that's very, very impactful.
Okay. So this is I don't know if I ever told any of you guys about this, but
Probably not. I barely know you.
yeah. Who are you? So last year I got laid off. Right?
Oh
I
yeah.
got laid off, and I remember I told you guys about it, and I think it was like around July, the end of July, and I spent like what 3 months, and I was laid off, and it was at a time where like it was really really dark for me, because I would spend time alone most of the day, and I'll be in my room, I'll be at home and stuff like that. COVID for me, it didn't really hit that hard because I was still going to work, I was still going to church, I was still on Zooms and interacting with people. But I felt like this, when I got laid off, it hit me harder than COVID because I was just by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, I felt really alone. Even though I had the Lord, even though I'm a leader, this is one of the points I also wanted to bring up as well. Just because somebody's a leader doesn't mean that they're invincible. It doesn't mean that they can't be attacked or they can't feel certain ways. Leaders also feel that as well. They have as much vulnerability as any other person.
I feel like as a leader, you feel more. Not, I don't want to say pressure because that's not the correct phrase, but I feel like you get tested more as a leader because you are put in that position, so you're able to get through that season, and in the future somebody else is going to go through that season.
Yeah.
So you can help them as a leader.
So that's what I went through, and I went through that.
So how were you able to encourage others?
So
Since you didn't have courage yourself, since you were like
yeah, I wasn't
encourage
myself,
yourself,
yeah.
How were you able to
At
like
that
encourage
time.
your other
So
youth?
it's difficult because you're at a spot where like you're not feeling well, right? And somebody else isn't feeling well, but you still have that knowledge, right? You still know, the way to be able to get out of that, right? You have that, and that other person, they have that as well. But this is the importance of leadership and counsels and hearing it from somebody else, because we do got to hear it from somebody else. This is the reason why, there's preachers, there's pastors, there's all of this, because that way they could relay the word of God, right? So it's not even that you're the one that's going to encourage them. No, you're going to use the words from God to be able to encourage them. So those words are there. It's just sometimes we need a reminder. And in order for me to relay that, I could relay that to somebody else, like, hey, this is what the word of the Lord says. That this is what it says, and this is the truth, and this is how to be encouraged. Relaying that it's I'm able to do that, but sometimes receiving it is different.
Yeah.
So I could relay it, I could give it to somebody else, but sometimes it's hard for me to receive it, but I can still give it,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you.
So whenever somebody else, like this is a way to see that somebody else is going through something really difficult, is they try to do something that they could control. So for me, it was my hair. You guys remember when I went bald?
You went bald?
I went,
Yeah.
no, I went
Not like
fully
bald,
He like
but
just got a buzz cut.
Like a buzz cut.
hey, shout out to Mark's barber though. You look nice.
Yeah, hey, he's been cutting my hair since I was like 14, 15 years old. So it's like 10 years already.
Wow.
So, but when I went a buzz cut, I cut my hair, all that. It just one day after another, and I was just like, I don't want to come here. I went to the restroom, I got the machine, and I just started cutting my hair. But this was during the time that I was going through all of that. I was going through this certain phase, and I was going through a difficult time. So I'm like, the only thing that I can fully control, that I feel, is my hair. So I just cut it all off, and I felt okay, but I still had that in me. You know, it's still going through that difficult time. But this is how somebody else could see if somebody's going through something. You know, if they change something drastically, you know, go bald or, you know, everybody has their different ways to handle it, but usually they're gonna be expressive and they're gonna show something. So kind of look for these signs. You know, look for signs like they do something that's changed like drastically, and maybe they're going through something. Reach out and tell them, hey, you know, this and that. But that's what I wanted to bring up. Well,
See, just because you're not in a leadership position doesn't mean you cannot be a leader.
yeah. So that's I also want to talk about that too. You know, because like the leadership, it's everybody's leader. Nate, you're a leader. You're gonna be a leader in your home. You know, you're gonna get married.
Glory
So
to God.
You're gonna be the leader.
Shout out Karina.
Shout out Karina. Put a plug in.
Shout out because she let us kick it in her
Yeah.
crib.
In her
At
future.
her crib, you know.
No, everybody's a leader. Misa, you're a leader. Doesn't mean that you have the title of leadership. That doesn't give you like the ability to be a leader. You're still a leader. Xavier, you're a leader. Chino, you're a leader. Anybody that's watching, everybody's a leader. You know, they're leading their own life. Basically, you know, you got to lead your own life. You know, in the right path. You're leading your household. You're leading anybody. Everybody is a leader. But just not everybody will have that title. But you're still a leader.
Yeah.
Mm.
So this segues to the next question that somebody asked. How do you become a leader? And this is a deep question, okay? How do you become a leader if your members or your youth group, let's just say because you're a youth leader, your youth group don't want to be led? This is a little bit of a tough question. We're getting into the nitty-gritty right now because, you know, but this is something that actually happens in a lot of churches,
Yeah.
if you think about it. There's not that connectivity in the youth. Like I'm just referring to the youth because you're a youth leader,
Yeah.
right? There's not that connectivity in the youth to where you have a strong, you know, family.
Yeah.
So how do you become a leader if your members or youth group do not want to be led?
Okay. So that's just saying, okay, you have a group of members. I say, like, okay, my example. You know, I'm here at Transformation Church, and I'm trying to reach the youth. I'm telling you, hey, Misai, Nate, this and that. We want to do something. And you guys are like, nah, you know, I don't want to do anything. You know, kind of like that, right? So it's just like they're not encouraged, you could say, to participate in things in the work of the Lord. So when that happens, they're going to see the example of the leader, and they're going to see, you know, basically how great it is to be able to participate in these sorts of things. You know, this connection you make with people, you know, it's just being able to interact with people, being able to help out and seeing, like, you know, if you're doing fundraisers or if you're doing anything for the work of the Lord, you're going to be seeing somebody benefiting out of that. And that's one way for them to kind of say, oh, okay, like, it's fun because when I do this certain thing, you know, they get happy and I get happy. You know, so they seek a kind of like a reward out of the things that they do. That's one way to do it. Another way is just like you just keep on trucking. Keep on trucking, you know, stay firm in your leadership, stay firm and on trying to do something. And then one person's going to, you know, come in and the next is going to bring more and then more people. Because honestly, like people follow crowds.
Yeah.
People follow crowds. Like that's the way it is. Like you go to a taco stand, you see two taco stands. One's empty, one's full. You're like, okay, which one do I go to?
The one that's full is pretty good. It must be good if everyone's there.
There's people there, so I want to
Yeah.
go there since there's other people there, right? Like sometimes you have to wait in line a little bit more, but it's gonna be worth it. So I kind of see it as like, okay, like if you get one person to be able to get encouraged, that one person is gonna bring another, and you're gonna be able to encourage the rest of the group like that. So you gotta start with just one.
Yeah.
And then just
Wow.
work your way in there.
That was a great answer, Mark. Great answer.
That's good. You know, I can kind of relate that. You know, as you guys know, I lead worship. I'm a musician. You know, I sing, all that. all for the glory of God. But something that someone told me in the past is, how is somebody, as far as leading worship, right? Because leading worship is also being a leader, right? You're leading the people to getting their hearts ready for the Word of God,
Yeah.
right? So somebody told me in the past, and this is something to keep in mind for you guys too, is that how is somebody going to worship
If you're not worshiping.
if you're not worshiping? If you're on stage and you're thinking, "Oh gosh, I'm gonna get off script here," but
Go
it's
for it.
alright.
Go for it.
if you're leading worship, if you're being a leader and you're doing something that other people see you do, and like for example, leading worship and you're not worshiping, people are not going to worship, right? If you're doing this for yourself, you're bringing your pride into it. When you bring that pride into it, everything goes out the window. If you don't have God in the center of it, then that the spirit is not going to move.
Yes.
When you have God in the center of everything,
Yeah.
everything's gonna be in place. Same thing as leader. If you show that you're into it as a leader, for example, socials, right? It's kind of mandatory for leaders to be at the socials.
Mhm.
Not kinda, it is mandatory,
Yeah.
right? And let's just say you go to the social and you get your youth to go. Let's just say the social is roller skating, right? Rollerama. If your youth see you not skating, and they see you on the phone sitting down at the table by yourself, what do you think they're gonna do? It's the same thing. The same thing. It's just, you gotta make sure that as a leader, even without the title, you gotta have God in the center of everything. Because if you don't have God in the center of everything, I'm not gonna say nothing's gonna happen, but
Yeah, sometimes something could happen, but that's by the grace of God. It does happen sometimes where, you're not doing the things that you should be doing, right? But just by the grace of God, it still continues on. But that'll only take you to a certain point.
Mhm.
And when you're being a leader, when you're have your youth group and stuff like that, it's important that they see you, like even if it's before, like right now, currently. Like I'm not gonna be a youth leader forever. I'm not gonna be, Lord willing, one day, just get into a varón, turn into a varón. And, I'm not gonna be here forever.
Are you
Mhm.
single though? Can I ask if you're single?
Uh,
for all my
Plead the
lady
fifth.
viewers out there that are single.
Nah, yeah, I'm single.
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 Ready to mingle?
Ready to mingle.
Ready to mingle?
No, like it just. One of these days, I'm not gonna be a youth leader anymore. So somebody's gonna have to take that role,
Mhm.
and that person that's gonna take that role, it's important for them to show leadership since before. Like if you're gonna get a leader who's gonna go up there, and like you're like, okay, who's this person? Like I've never seen him before, never participated in events, never encouraged the youth, never was around into youth social, youth groups or anything. Like, so what are you gonna think? Like maybe they're just there for the position, but are they really there to encourage the youth and to take them forward? Maybe they're not there just for the title, just to look good. So it starts since before. You'll be able to see the fruit since before.
Mhm.
And this is the important thing. It's like, in Galatians, it talks about the fruit of the Spirit, right? It doesn't say fruits. It doesn't say it doesn't say pick and choose. Like if you have the fruit of the Spirit, you're gonna have all of them, and you're gonna demonstrate that since before. And then when you become a leader, then you're gonna get backed up by everybody because they see you since before that you were already having that drive and that mentality and like, okay, I want this youth group to grow. I want to start doing things that are out of the box. Not something that's just normal. I want to start doing other things like this podcast. This is out of the box. This is something that not most people would be comfortable doing. And this is another way to expand it, but it just, that's one way to encourage, to answer the question. That's one way to encourage your youth group. Is just if you show and you lead by example, especially since before you become a youth leader, show them, show them how to be a youth. Show them how to participate in these events and social, even if it's out of your comfort zone. Like, this is out of my comfort zone. Like, I don't really like talking in front of, like, I don't like, it's just out of my comfort zone because I'm not used to it. But in order for me to want other people to be here, it's important for me to show them that I'm gonna step out of my comfort zone and still come into here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one way to encourage. There's multiple ways, but
Yeah.
All right, we got another question. Do you find it hard to get your youth members involved?
This is locally.
Locally. All right. So,
Be honest, bro. You could be honest here.
I'll be honest. I kind of see it. So say like I'm a coach, right? I'm a coach, and you have a football team, right? Every single person, every single player is gonna have certain aspects of them that is gonna be good in one area and not so good in the other area. That's just how people are.
Mm-hmm.
You get a linebacker, and he's gonna be in that linebacker position. But then what if I'm like, I don't really see what he has or he doesn't have, I just see the name and then that's it. I place him as a quarterback, and I don't really know who the person is. I don't really know his characteristics or anything. I just see the name, place him as a quarterback. You think he's gonna work out? Not much. So I see it as like you're coaching the youth members. You're finding different areas that they're gonna be good at, and you're gonna kind of help them and guide them to go in those areas, so that way that they'll be able to grow in that a lot more. You get say a 5'6" guy to play, or let's say 5'8", because that's a good quarterback height. Or not decent.
Like 6 foot maybe.
6 foot.
Okay.
6 foot.
So let's say, yeah, like a 6 foot guy, 100 or 200 pounds, right? You put him in the offensive line or defensive line, what's gonna happen?
I don't know about that one.
He's gonna get crushed. All right, so you're gonna find a position where he should be at, and it's the same thing with me trying to find areas where somebody's good at and try to use him in that area. Somebody's a good socializer, okay, we'll use him in the social groups. Someone gets good Bible study or good at public speaking, we'll use him in this area. For me, it is a bit difficult, because I gotta find, kind of study each person, because everybody's unique. Everybody has a unique personality. Everybody's different. So it's kind of studying on like, okay, this person, I can use them here, here, here. And it takes time. It does. And sometimes it's not really easy. But at the end of it, that's where you gotta keep trying. Keep trying. And if they're not good in that position, put them somewhere else.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be excused for just a quick second. You guys can handle this. Ask the questions. All right. I'll be right back.
You want to read it off, Misa? Because I can't see the questions. Anyways.
It's because these are good questions, bro. So I gotta
pick one.
pick a good one, a little one that's
Hopefully, you guys didn't give me a too hard of a question on that. What's it called?
No, I'll give you a little easy one. A little easy one. How long have you been a youth leader for?
Oh, okay. So like I said, I was talking about it earlier. I got baptized in 2015, and so 1 year after I got baptized, they put me as the president, and then
1 year after?
1 year after.
Wow.
So it was like right away. Because I think he was waiting for 2 years. I think it's 2 years that they were going to do it for me before becoming a youth president. But I think it was 1 year after they put me as a youth president there. And then I spent a year here at New Life before being a director or president, whichever. I think it was president.
You were like a co first, no?
Yeah, I think so. I think as soon as I got here, he put me to help out, the current director or president that was there, and then the year after, they put me to be president, and then now I'm the director.
Yeah.
So, in the whole time, 7 years baptized, I've been a youth leader for 5 years of those 7 years, and it's like I said, we have a lot of ups and downs. You know, in the beginning, I had like there was like 3, 4, and 5, 6, and now it's growing to like 20 plus, and you know, it's giving me a lot of room so that way I could grow as well. Because I have a lot of growing to do. You know, just because I'm a leader doesn't mean like I'm not where I'm like wanting to be at or where I need to be at. Like I still have a lot of room to grow, a lot of room for improvement, and honestly I can say that we all do, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Everybody
We
does.
all do, and the same thing with the leaders. Like this is what I said. Like sometimes it's you put the leaders on a pedestal and you put them up here, and you're like, dang, like you know they're way up here. You know, they're on a pedestal. I mean, I can't like no, like that's not how it should be. Like we're not above anybody else. Like just because I have that title doesn't mean like I can't be friends with anybody. Like we're all could be friends, but there's just if the person's you know it just depends on the person, I guess. But
Cause I feel like while you're talking about that, I was thinking about how like people that get chosen to or get asked whatever to like a youth event and stuff like that, like, you know, like the board stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like they think like they're kind of like bigger, you know.
uh,
You know what I mean?
oh yeah.
Like, but in reality, like we're
I
all
mean, like that's what I said. Like it just depends on the person.
yeah.
You know, everybody's a little bit different. You know, it's we're all people. At the end of the day, we all make mistakes. You know, nobody's above anybody else. We all need the mercy and the grace of God. You know, you have a title. That title doesn't define who you are. You know, it's just Christ defines who you are, and Christ says that we're all, you know, His children. And as children, like you know, if you and your brother, you guys are both equal to your parents.
Mm.
Like you and your brother, you're not. Even though kind of some people play around and say it is, like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, the parents, if they're a good parent, if they say that, if they're a good parent, they're gonna have everybody's gonna be equal in their eyes. You know,
Yeah.
they say we have a good God, we have a good Father, everybody's equal. You know, you have titles, you have this, and everybody's equal. Doesn't matter. You know, God views all of His children same thing with love and all that. So we should just treat each other the way God wants. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, the next question somebody asks is, what person? Did you guys ask that one already? What person or people have helped you move forward in your leadership? And I was gonna say let's narrow it down, but you know what? Let's go all around from your time in Wasco to here.
All right. Dang. All right.
Try to keep it a little short though.
So, a little short.
We're 2 hours long.
Well, honestly, my brother was a big part. You know, my brother was a big part in helping me out a lot in the beginning. He had a lot of patience with me.
Just in the beginning.
Just in the beginning. He still helps me out. But it's different, you know. It's because I was basically under his wing over there in Wasco. You know, he was kind of teaching me the ropes, you could say. You know,
The tricks and all.
the tricks and all, everything. You know, tips, tricks, and no, he helped me out a lot since I was younger. You know, he's always been praying for me. You know, always keeps me in mind, always checking up on me. You know, and when I got baptized, the funny thing is like, he baptized me, my brother. You know, and that was a great privilege. You know, to be baptized by your own brother that's been praying for you.
That's awesome.
So he is a big, you know, mentor, leader in my life. You know, I look up to him. Yeah, I do. You know, even though I don't really tell him. You know,
Like to admit it, you know.
like to admit it, I do. Like it's just you look up to your older brother, and it's great to have an example where you could kind of feed off of. Like, okay, like he does this, he does that. You know, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do this. And also, like, you know, this is another thing I wanted to bring up. Like, for youth members, you know, just a youth member, people still look up to you. You know, like you're being looked up to by somebody. Somebody looking at you, and they're like, okay, like, look, he does his hair this way. Maybe I should do my hair that way. Like, oh, look, Chino's gonna bring the waves back. Maybe I should do this, you know?
I don't know about that one. I don't know.
Oh, like everybody, like it's not, but everybody has like certain things. They're like, okay, like, hey, this guy looks kind of cool like that, or he does this or does that. So it's important for you to kind of be careful what you say, what you don't say around other people.
Yeah, I can see that. It's not only in the church, but everywhere. Like some of you know, I'm a behavior instructional aide, so obviously I said it on the last episode, but just to remind you, I work with kids that have behavior issues, right? A lot of those kids I help, they, going off of you, is they, once you help them, they look up to you, you know, just like how your brother would help you in some things, you look up to him.
Yeah.
And so, it is true. You do got to be careful on what you do, what you say, how you do things, the way you look, the way you dress, because even those little things, like those younger ones, and even sometimes the older ones will look at you and be like, okay, I'm gonna start dressing like that. I'm gonna start dressing, sagging my pants. I'm gonna start,
That's a trend start.
Yeah.
You got one person that thinks it's cool, a group, and then everybody else thinks it's cool. Like, I remember back then, like, skinny jeans weren't in fashion. It was baggy jeans. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, like, a guy decided to wear some girl pants, I guess. I don't know, wear some skinny jeans. But, like, but I remember that. Like, it didn't turn to a trend or a fashion or whatever. And then that carried on. And then, like, because one person thought it was cool, the next people followed, and you got everybody else, a whole group of people following it. And this is, like, if you're a member, if you're a youth leader, if you're a pastor, bishop, or whatever, it doesn't matter what your title is, people are going to look up to you. So be careful of what you say, how you say it, what you wear, what you don't wear, everything. And it's not because, like, you just want to be a good, testimony for other people. So that way you could also be leading in a good way. Because you could be led in a bad way. Now here's the other thing, being led. Like, being a leader, you could lead people in a bad way. Just because you're a youth leader doesn't mean you're a good youth leader. You're just a youth leader.
Preach it.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
Like, just because you have the title doesn't mean that you're the good part of that title.
Ooh. Come on.
Just you have the title, right? You're there. You have the influence, right? You have the influence. Now, then it comes like what way you're gonna lead them. You're gonna lead them in a good way, or you're gonna lead them in a bad way, right? So that's just it's just a little extra, just a little cherry on top.
All right, this is good. This is good. You guys want to add anything else before we move on to the next one?
No, that was good.
You look like you're
He
ready.
answered all my questions on that one.
So you're basically saying we be the trendsetters.
The what? The trendsetters. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Think
Yeah,
it-
that's right.
Another
Look at
word,
Xavier.
bro.
Look at Xavier.
Give me some, bro.
That's right. Yeah,
Another
be the
words.
trendsetters. Be the one that's gonna be different.
Be the change.
Be the change. Ooh.
Like
Yeah. Be the trendsetter. I like that. Hashtag it.
Hashtag,
Hashtag
hashtag
right
be
here.
the trendsetter.
We're gonna get on Twitter.
Start a
gonna-
chair.
Go on to YouTube and put hashtag trend starter.
All right, we have a couple more questions. Let's see. This would be a good one. What has been the most difficult lesson you've learned as a leader?
I'll keep that one. Keep that one a little simple. Youth leaders are people. Youth leaders are people. I didn't like. In my eyes, I'm like a youth leader. Like before, youth leader is somebody who's like unstoppable. Pastors unstoppable. Bishops unstoppable. Like they're like 100% firm. Like that's it. Like nothing could move them. But at the end of the day, we're all people. We all have the capability of falling. In the church setting, of backsliding. Everybody has that capability. It doesn't matter who you are, because we're all people still. You have the title, you have the position. That doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the enemy could still attack you if you're not, well equipped. And well equipped is like just rely on God. Just know that at the end of the day, that God, the mercy of God, that's going to overpower the sin that you have committed. The blood of Christ, and we preach about it, we talk about it, And here's why. Like, here's the thing. Like, we repeat it so many times, but then we still get people leaving the church. We still get not even leaving the church, leaving God. Like, okay, like they leave church, all right. Like, it's not all right, but like they leave God. Like that's not. It's just not leaving the church; it's leaving God. That's what I want to get to. So when a backslider, or somebody says like, oh, I'm gonna leave God and stuff like that, like that means like we haven't really like touched on the topic enough. That's what I think. It's like maybe we could have touched on that topic a little bit more. That, you know, the grace of God and God's mercy and the blood of Christ can cleanse any sin that you have committed. Doesn't matter what you did. We could start out small. You stole something, right? You stole something, or you lied, or whatever, and then it goes up to the you killed somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same. It's the sin. God can still forgive that. And then this is the thing. Like, okay, like, and you look at, and then like, you start looking at people different. Like, okay, like, you know, you look at a murderer different than how you look at somebody who lied or stole something. Like, they're not so different. Why? Because they're people. Why? Is they still committed a sin. A murderer still committed a sin in the same like level, you could say, as a sin as somebody who stole something. And they still have the. I'm sorry. We're having some background noises. But like, they're still at the same level. Like, you know, Christ can still forgive them, right? The murderer, it doesn't matter what they did. Christ can still forgive them.
I'm sorry about that, guys. We had some little things going on, but
Technical difficulties.
yeah, behind that. Anyways, so I got a question, Mark. So, share a time you felt proud as a leader.
Like in my own, like myself as a leader?
Yeah, yourself as a leader.
Honestly, there's a lot of moments where I do feel proud of myself as a leader, but like it's just the little stuff that I notice over time that, you know, it just gives me a lot of multiple times that I feel proud of myself, but not even like as something that I've accomplished. It's just something that the other person has accomplished or is growing. You know, it's just like looking back at it. You know, I see Misa. You know, when I started coming over here, I see him like he's a lot different than how he was before. You know, way different. You know, he doesn't have that squeaky voice anymore.
Okay, buddy.
But
He's
like,
all, what's up, guys?
What's up?
Don't do that. Don't do that, please.
But like, it's like the
Don't do
little
that.
stuff that I see Misa growing in. You know, just any little small areas. You know, it's just everything that he has done since I met him, since right now. You know, all of those moments, it's like a whole bunch of them that made me proud. Not because of something I did, but because of something that he's doing. And it makes me proud because I'm his leader. You know, I'm maybe being a good example. You know, and that's where I'm feeling proud of. And Xavier too. You know, it's just every little things that he does. You know, he's growing a lot too. You know, his arms are growing. You know, he's growing. But you know, it's just everything that each and every one of you guys, you know, all of the youth group, you know, everybody, I noticed things, you know, and maybe I should voice it a lot more than what I do before. But I do notice, you know, when somebody else, you know, starts coming out of their comfort zone and starts talking to somebody that never really would like to talk about to other people, they start stepping out of their comfort zone, and that makes me proud.
Mm.
You know, you guys being here on this podcast makes me proud. You know, it's just all these little things. It encourages me. You know, it does encourage me because I see the effort that you guys put in this podcast. I see the effort that you guys are doing, and again, at the end of it, it's not for, you know, our own gain. You know, it's all for the kingdom of Christ. And this is all to expand His kingdom, and this is what makes me, you know, happy, is that seeing this, or seeing somebody singing, or seeing somebody's gift being utilized is what makes me happy.
Mm. Mm.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I coming into Transformation Church, I didn't know what I was getting into. I guess you can say. I came in blind, so I didn't expect this youth group to be as strong as we are together. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everyone has their flaws. I'm not saying that this one's better than others. But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, I guess I can say this too. I'm gonna kind of get off of this topic we're on. Is that when the youth group is together, and somebody comes in, they should be feeling that same welcoming as you would as a friend were to go to your house, right? Example. If Chino came to my house, or for example, I went to Chino's house the other day when we were practicing, right? His parents welcomed me. They gave me some gorditas. By the way, hermana. We're good.
You were there.
You were there.
Oh yeah.
You ate like how many did you eat?
He ate like 6, y'all.
I wasn't there.
Misa was there. No, not for him.
I like them.
No gordita
Hey,
for
but
him.
for those of you that have tried the hermanas gorditas,
Fire.
woo, fuego. But anyways, what I'm trying to get to, for example, like I went to Gina's house, it was welcoming, she said, hey, how are you? Like in Spanish, obviously. How are you? I said, good. We went to the room, and then she came in. She's like, hey, there's food. The food's ready. And then I didn't want to eat because obviously I'm a picky eater.
Very picky.
Very picky.
Very.
You take me to the restaurant,
Very.
Chinese restaurant, I'm going to ask for chicken nuggets. Okay? But some water, chicken nuggets and water. But, she encouraged me to, same thing as a youth group, just going back again. I guess it is tied into what we're talking about. Just because you're not a leader doesn't mean you can't be welcoming other people into the youth group.
Yeah.
When I came in, I was welcomed. Like it was like welcome to the family.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
we should be that way for everybody.
yeah.
Everybody. Like if anybody, like if somebody's being like out inside in the corner over there, this is kind of me speaking to my youth group. Because I know you guys gonna be listening. You're talking to you guys right here. I don't know which camera to look at. You guys.
Oh, you gotta fix your glasses.
Don't mind Mark's glasses.
So, anyways,
We don't gotta talk about what happened.
We'll talk about that
Later.
in a little bit.
you see me adjusting it a lot. There's a reason. There's a reason why I'm adjusting my glasses a lot.
Alright,
We'll talk about it right now.
talk about no.
We'll talk
Zoom
about it right
in. Can you zoom into that? Zoom into the glasses.
Alright, you guys. I'm gonna get contacts soon, so I don't know if I'm gonna get some new pair of glasses or I don't know, but this is what it is. Broken. I was thinking about coming to the podcast without even using my glasses and just see everybody blurry.
That's a hazard, bro.
Guys,
That's a hazard.
for all the youth,
I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna trip over everything.
for all the youth, like everyone that's
accepting
watching.
donation?
Yeah, no. Mark's birthday's coming up, so if y'all wanna like put something together, guys, lick it.
The GoFundMe account will be down
GoFundMe
below.
account.
No, I'm just kidding.
Rest in peace to the glasses.
No, but go ahead. We were talking
Yeah.
about.
So before my glasses. Oh, so like if you see anybody else around and off to the side or somebody that has not have been in the youth group a lot, just welcome them in. Go out there, step out of your comfort zone, and welcome in, talk to them, see how their day's going, and we welcomed Nate big time because I kind of knew him around, saw him at district events, sector events and stuff like that, and then there's some youth that aren't in that area, that they're really low key and they're really off to the side and not and that's where I want to push the youth to start bringing them in. We're all one family, and here's the other thing. Okay, so I'm talking about locally, bringing each other in, but then when we go to sectors as well, it's important to see everybody as the body of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the guys that I told you about was in Israel. He's somebody that I work with, and he's actually my foreman, my supervisor. So if you see this, just low key, shout out, don't fire me. But we talked about it a lot, at work. It's just we're all in the same body of Christ, You know, we're all part of the same family. You know, if somebody from a different church, you know, just because they have a different church title or their family takes them to a different place, doesn't mean that they're not in the part of the same body. You know, it's just, this is what always tricked me out. Okay, we're going to get a little off topic, but trust me, I'm going to come back. So, like, with gangs. Okay, gangs and like stuff like that. Oh, I grew up in this street. I don't like your street. Like, that always trips me out because, like, you guys, okay, it's a bunch of Hispanics fighting each other when they grew up in different streets. And then we are like, okay, we're never going to be like that. Like, how can we be in a gang and hate other people because they wear a different color? And then we come to church and we're like, we don't like this other church because they're from somewhere else.
They have a different name.
They have a different name. Like, they're just a different title. Like that's what always... It's not... I don't see it here, you know, a lot, you know. But there is like that because there's gangs over there. It's going to be kind of like... But, bro, we're from the same body of Christ. If they need help, if they need something, we're here to help out the body and the members of Christ.
Amen.
Like, Xavier, if he needs help, all right. Somebody from another church reaches out to me, hey, I need help. All right. We're the same body of Christ. I don't really see what there's an issue with. You know, to help out another church, you know, support their events, you know, support whatever. If we have time, we'll go. You know, because we're all in the same body. You know, we're not like, you're not a whole different breed than I am. Like we're just people.
I'm just built different.
We're just built different. But yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to kind of touch about. You know, I have no idea what the question was in the beginning. I kind of lost track.
No, that's all
I don't
right.
even think it was a question.
It wasn't a question.
It
It
was
was
just-
just-
Stop talking, yeah.
So that's what I wanted to, you know, give my little sense about.
No, I mean, yeah. Well, it's good having you on, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, it was just good to be on. You know, I'm just really talkative right now. So
That's all right.
I wasn't like this before.
Whoa.
Before we started, we were talking about what are we gonna say? What are we gonna say? You know, you just gotta talk. That's all it is.
Let him talk. Just let him talk. Just let him roll with it. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, like I really look forward to the next guest that you guys are gonna have on board.
Should we give a little sneak peek?
A little sneak peek? You guys gonna give a little sneak peek or
Well,
something?
I
You guys
still-
want
we
me-
still gotta
wait. Do we have a yes though?
We gotta wait for a confirmation.
confirm.
Yeah, you know what? No, we'll keep it.
Yeah, keep it looking.
So
But
stay tuned.
Stay
I
tuned,
will
guys.
say this, ladies, there will be a ladies episode coming up. It'll be lady hosts. It'll be, you know,
You gonna have a wig on? or
So
what?
we won't be, we won't be on here.
yeah, we won't be on. You won't see us.
I know y'all gonna miss us.
Yeah.
You know, it's
But
okay. One episode.
just one episode. Maybe we'll do it every so often.
Yeah.
You know, so ladies in the future, keep an eye on the Instagram posts, on the stories. You know, ladies, if you have questions regarding, you know, for example, why do we wear skirts? Why do we wear veils? You know, this is just examples, or even deeper. So keep an eye on that. Just wanted to throw that out there. But
The guys could tune in too, right?
yeah, the guys can tune in, but it's mainly for
That would be kind of weird. No?
No, I mean that we have an
So
understanding.
they can
Yeah.
understand what they do, why they
What
do.
if they have a girl that's a friend that you know?
Or-
They
or-
tell him like,
Or let's say you're talking to somebody,
Oof.
they're not in church,
means
and like and they ask these questions. Like, okay, so this is just a hypothetical. Hypothetically, you know? Like, what if you're talking? So, maybe they're in church, you know, but they have those questions.
Yeah.
Let's just say, and that way you're informed. I'm like, okay, like, why this, why that? Because they're gonna ask you questions, maybe, because they feel more comfortable around you, so they're gonna ask you questions.
yeah.
So it's important to stay informed on, you know, knowledge is not bad. You know, if you want to hear it, you want to learn about it, it's just always good. So stay tuned. You know, the next podcast.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be in the week.
No, I'll
Should we?
be there, but I'm not gonna be asking questions. I'm just gonna be there helping out. But yeah, I mean, if you have questions, ladies, remember, keep an eye out. Sister Shelly will be on that episode, and to answer those questions, as well as Sister Chloe, Sister Emily, and Sister Desi. So stay tuned for that. Yeah,
Sounds good. Sounds like a good cast.
yeah.
Yep.
So, all right. Any last words you want to give? Any?
Uh,
Well, I have one more question.
Okay,
Actually, I'm
okay.
sorry.
Me too. Me too. I have one after this.
Okay. Mine's pretty. I'm curious. What are some goals you have for the youth
Ooh.
this year?
All right.
Be honest.
Be honest. So my goal for this year for the youth group is to start implementing everybody's gifts. To start utilizing everybody in their own unique way. And just keep in mind, like I said, I do notice things about everybody, and I'm just, it's my duty to kind of coach him and to bring, different gifts that they have to light. So that's one of the things that I really want to focus on is to the gifts that everybody has individually. Everybody has a gift. And what I want to do is I want to bring that out of them, even though if they're really shy or whatever, it's just going to take some work, but to be able to utilize the different gifts to expand the kingdom more. Because there's a reason why they have that gift. If your gift is talking to people, their gift is evangelizing, socializing, whatever it is, then I want to be able to bring that out of them and to utilize them in a good way, and just keep them growing and keep challenging them. So this is another is to challenge the youth. And again, like sometimes there's gonna be different feedbacks. You're gonna get good feedback, bad feedback, whatever. But it's important for me just to try to challenge you guys. If I tell you guys, hey, this service, because we're gonna have a youth service in June, all right?
What day in June?
We'll keep that informed. We'll let you guys know. But
The glasses.
everybody,
They keep
we still need donations for my glasses.
They keep falling.
So I want to be able to utilize different youth talents and stuff like that, and just keep a lookout. I'm gonna take some people out and challenge you guys to do this or do that. Maybe sing a special, maybe say some words or whatever it is. Pick up the offering, pray over the offering, whatever it is. Not just in that area, but in other areas too. But I'll let you guys know.
I got two quick questions, super quick before you. Like they're really quick.
Go ahead,
Anyways.
go ahead.
Do you know like everyone in our youth is baptized or not?
Not everybody.
All right, but okay. Second question. That's second question. I heard you were in a band or something like that.
In the band.
Yeah.
You trying to put in your plug or what?
No, I just
Hey,
heard.
you did it last week.
I overheard. No, I just overheard. No, I just overheard. Like there was a question right there saying like if you're a free agent.
My friend, I'm looking for a contract extension. My manager doesn't give me it.
125 mil, 5 years.
So, yeah. So we have a group. And what's the group name?
What is it, Mark?
Grupo Unción Divina.
Oh, okay.
So, that's the group name. That's to answer your question.
Oh, okay.
That's it. I'm not going to put any more plugs.
Yeah.
Lisa?
My question is, could you just like give us a little story on how your glasses broke? Just like a little quick story how they broke. I'm sure the people want to know. Like,
They keep falling.
You got to give the people what they want.
Wait.
Can you show the glasses one more time?
They're broken.
As you guys can tell, like the piece where,
he's missing a few inches from the piece.
but the piece that fell is the most important piece.
Yeah,
Kinda.
that's the funny part.
'Cause it's like-
Exhibit, zoom in. All right, so zoom in here. Right here. Like it's right here, right at the edge of my ear. And I'm like, bro, if it would have broke a little bit more this way, I would have at least had it on my ear and not fall off like that. but it broke. So,
Well, at least you can hide it.
kind of.
Just turn
On
this
camera, you
way.
can hide it.
Okay, I'll just turn this way. I'm gonna look this way. That's it. But I guess I was asleep. I slept with them on, and I
Face.
How did you fall asleep though?
Wait,
I sleep. Okay, I sleep facing down. So I was like,
like this, guys.
He was like this in the pillow.
yeah.
I don't know where he was breathing from, but he was breathing.
I had a little snorkel and I had to come out to the side. But I fell asleep and I was, with them on. And people, don't fall asleep with your glasses on, please.
Wait.
Yeah, this could happen. My guess is that they fell off while I was asleep, and I rolled on them. And when I rolled on it, I rolled on this part of it, and it broke.
Wait, how do you like sleep like that? Like,
With my eyes closed.
no, like I'll say like, how do you not like want to take them off?
Well, because you get like, okay.
You just forgot, like
I
you just forgot.
Like,
Nah.
no, I didn't forget. I was too tired, and I wasn't expecting to sleep.
Cause like I'm saying, cause
Yeah,
people
that
with
happens.
glasses is crazy. Because
Okay,
for example, wait, Misa, he's forgotten his glasses, but literally like your glasses are on your face. How do you forget that?
Okay, you're somebody that doesn't wear glasses.
So you shouldn't be.
I'm just
you
saying.
shouldn't
I'm just
be
saying.
serious.
Quick question:
Let me-
all
let me
glasses
tell you-
wear,
let me
don't
tell
come
you-
at
let me
me.
tell you though.
Don't
Is
at
it like
me.
a part of your body?
Yeah,
No,
like
yeah.
after
So
a
how do
few,
you forget
after a
that?
few
It's like,
months and
okay.
years, bro, like you forget that you're wearing that sometimes, like, cause like once and then once you take them off, like you're like, dang, oh my god.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
ask
no,
me a
no, yeah,
question.
go ahead, go ahead.
Can you guys see your nose?
Kind of.
It can't come off
Your
though.
nose.
It's a blind spot.
It's a blind spot,
So you
right?
focus on
So
it.
you focus on it. Now everybody on the podcast,
It's gonna be looking at
they're
the
gonna look at
noses.
the nose. They're gonna, and then like,
Raw cross.
they're looking, so, and then everybody like they know that they're breathing now. So now you guys are breathing manually, right?
Why are you bringing
So-
this out?
No, I don't
Now-
understand.
Okay, no, what I'm
Because
saying
you're focusing on
is that you're focusing on your nose. It's the same thing with your glasses. You don't focus it on anymore.
Like when you breathe, you're not focusing on. Let me take a breath. Like you breathe naturally. Like naturally, you're breathing. Like you're not like one breath, second breath. Like you're not doing that, bro. Like you're
Okay,
breathing
but it's the same thing.
naturally,
Like you're not gonna leave the house without shoes on.
bro. Exactly.
Exactly.
So like
Do you see me leaving my house without my glasses?
Misa, but I was saying Misa case.
Okay, but because I have the nah, this
I was
one.
getting personal. I was getting personal.
Nah. But it's cause like sometimes you do forget that you wear glasses, bro. Like at my house, I take them off most of the time. I'm not wearing them at my house.
So they're fake.
I got a question. I got a
So you
question.
don't-
I got a question for everybody. Okay, is there times? Okay, here's my question. In the YouTube channel, you guys are posting on YouTube, right? On the
YouTube,
channel.
Spotify, Apple Music,
Comment,
iTunes.
comment on the YouTube channel if you guys do this. Whenever you have glasses on and you take them off and you're doing something, right? Does it become it becomes a habit? But do you guys ever fix your glasses without them being there?
So
You're like doing something.
Demonstration?
And you're like, wait, I
Yeah.
don't have my glasses on.
Or like
or like fix them like that, and you're like, wait, I don't have them on.
No.
You guys ever do that?
I don't do that.
I mean, I'm supposed to be wearing glasses, but
I don't do that.
well, cause you don't wear glasses, Chino.
Oh, well, I was just saying.
But like, I do that. I don't know if anybody else
I
does.
can't see nothing.
Like when they're like right now, I don't have them on. I'll be talking and I'll go like this. I'm like, I don't have my glasses no more.
yeah.
Can you see though?
No, where are you? Yeah, I can see.
Everything's just blurry, bro. Like trust me, it's bad. Like you should be grateful that God gave you 20/20 vision, bro. Cause it's bad. Like it's bad.
Hey,
Like
but
if-
Misa,
But it's-
glasses complete the look. Come on.
So some people it makes them look a little better, you know. I don't know. It just depends on the person.
person.
Like I feel like I look better without glasses,
mm,
but some people tell me I look better with them on. But you know.
I think I'm just used to. Okay, anyways, we're getting off topic.
yeah, get,
Alright.
yeah, guys. Sorry
You look
about
good with
that.
or without.
Thank
No,
you.
not.
All right.
Good.
Any,
I don't get that same thing back.
It's because they're broken right now.
Yeah, because they're broken.
okay. Any last things you wanna say?
Well, just thank you guys for tuning in.
Or do you have any questions for us?
Oh, wow, man. We should probably save that for another
Another episode?
podcast, another episode.
Yeah.
The guest comes back, but the roles are flipped.
Oh, we can do that.
The
Yeah.
roles are flipped.
Watch
I have
us
questions for you guys. But yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. I mean, thank you guys for having me on. You know, appreciate the invite. You know, I hope everything succeeds. You know, hope the podcast can reach out. You know, to you say, don't keep it small.
New York.
Keep it to thousands of people. You know, hundreds of thousands of people, a whole bunch of people. You know, it's just not something that we want to keep just to ourselves.
Worldwide.
We're thinking that everybody else could benefit from it. Whatever we talked about now, in a year from now, somebody's gonna be scrolling through YouTube, and they're gonna see, Transformation Podcast. Click on it,
Transformed.
Transform Podcast, and they're gonna be transformed.
You were the first ever guest as well.
Yeah,
How do you feel
honorary
about that?
Honorary guest. Oh, really nice.
Ever.
Really privileged. You know,
Yeah.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Well. All right.
Should
well.
we, before we end it, should we pose for a thumbnail?
Yeah. Why not? Is it?
Do I post like with this?
It
Why
might-
not?
yeah.
That'll work actually. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, cool. All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in. I do want to say something really quick. I am gonna leave a link on below in the comments. It is a Google Doc or Google Form. If you guys have any topics that you would like us to kind of cover, or maybe some guests you would want us to, to bring in.
It's all
If you wanna
anonymous.
be a guest yourself.
It's all anonymous as well, so
Yeah.
just
So nobody would know. Go ahead, click the link. It'll send you to a Google form. It's anonymous. We'll find out what topic you want to talk about, and yeah. But other than that, boys, that's episode 2.
clap it up, guys. Clap it
Clap
up.
it up.
Great episode.
All right, well, guys, remember, subscribe, like, share with your friends, leave a comment, turn on the bells for notifications. And yeah, we'll see you in episode 3.
Can we do my tail thumb? My tail thumb.
All right, God bless.